What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and right now it is still our Black Excellence Month. That's right. So during the month of February, it's Black History Month, but I like to get on here on the platform and I like to talk about movies that are what I consider Black excellence. I've already done a couple of reviews. Make sure you go check those out. I've also been doing reviews on Instagram and TikTok, so make sure you check those out as well. But today, I'm going to be talking about a film that I actually got to see early. I actually got to see a week early. Shout out AMC Theaters. I got to see it, and this movie is called GOAT. Before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Already subscribe. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. And just thank you. I hope you guys are having a great week. And it's Super Bowl Sunday at the time of this recording. So what better sports film to talk about during the Super Bowl, right, on Super Bowl Sunday, than a movie that is about basketball, right? Like, I got the sports right? Like, Super Bowl is about basketball, shoot, basketball, no, okay, cool, all right, whatever. Nah, all right, so GOAT. This is the latest animated film from Sony Pictures Animation, produced by Steph Curry, my bad. I said Seth Curry because I was excited to get to his information with the cast list. But produced by Steph Curry, who is, basketball player. Come on, guys, Golden State Warriors, guys, ring a bell. The movie stars Caleb McCall, the black kid from Stranger Things. I have trouble with those names, right? Because it's spelled McLaughlin, but I know it's McCaughlin or something like that. I can never pronounce those names right. But Caleb McCaughlin as the lead role. Gabrielle Union, Aaron Pierre, Nicola Collin. Oh God, Lord have mercy. These names is hard to read today. David Harbour, Nick Kroll, Jennifer Lewis, Patton Oswalt, Jelly Roll, Jennifer Hudson, Sherry Cola, Eduardo Franco, Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee, and Steph Curry himself has a role in this film, which is something I actually didn't even notice until I looked at the credits. But I mean, I don't know what Steph Curry sounds like on a regular day anyway, so I can't even say I was like impressed. But his character was fun because he played a giraffe character in this film, and I did like it. So the movie GOAT, right? This follows a young goat named I think his name is William, right? His name is William. Hold on, I got you. Yeah, Will Harris, who dreams of becoming a basketball player. But it's not called basketball in this world. It's called Roarball. And Roarball is an acronym for something, and I wish I wrote it down. It's regional. I forgot. I just remember the regional, and then the other letters. It was actually kind of funny what the acronym stood for, at least to me. So he wants to be a Roarball player, and his dream is to play alongside one of his all-time favorite basketball players, who was played by Gabrielle Union, Jet Fillmore. And Jet Fillmore is a Panther. And she's like the top basketball player, but she also has she's known as the face of the Thorns, which is the team that Will idolizes and everything like that. But Jet Fillmore, she's a little bit of a flawed character, as you get to see when you watch the movie. So yeah, he ends up making it on the team though. And so now it's just about him proving himself, about him playing with the team, about him being a part of the team and stuff like that. So it's a real underdog story. It's a real sports underdog story. And this movie does make for a really good sports movie. Like, you don't get a lot of family sports movies nowadays. I mean, you still get them, but you don't get that many of them. And this one is a really good one. I did enjoy it. I will say right off the bat, I don't think that it's strong in the comedy department, but I don't think that's what this movie is aiming to do. And I thought about that after I watched this movie. I thought, dang, I don't remember it being funny. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I'm not wowed by a lot of things, but I was emotionally invested. I was invested very much so into the story of Will and him wanting to be this basketball player and him wanting to be a part of the team and just the things that happen during him being on the team. Like at one point, they don't even like let him play. Like essentially, he was used as a publicity stunt. So that, you know what I'm saying, so that investors and audience, they can get like people to come out to the games and get different people to invest in the team and stuff like that. But they never really let him play. But it's a reason why. It's kind of a reason why, but not really. So like Roarball is like, so like all the animals, right? Because this is a movie with anthropomorphic animals, and so all the animals that play Roarball are animals who typically tend to be bigger sized animals, like ostrich, Komodo dragon, gorillas, horses, panthers like Jet, rhinos, things like that. And Will is kind of underestimated all the time when it comes to Roarball, even in his local community, because he's so small. He's just a small little goat. And they're like, you're just a teeny tiny little goat. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? And Will does get the chance to kind of prove himself against a bigger animal in a moment that goes viral for him. And that's how he gets drafted to the team. I won't say too much because this movie officially does not come out until February 13th. I saw this on February 7th. Like I said, it was an early screening. And at that early screening, I did get this. Right, I know it's probably a little backwards in the camera, but this is a gift that they gave us for coming to the advanced screening. Shout out AMC. It is the Thorns. It's their little basketball. It's a pouch. Inside said pouch, I did want to do is look at me doing a little opening, a little unboxing, so to speak, an unpouching. Inside of here, there is a goat sleeve. Right, I'm gonna give this to my godson because I don't really know what to do with all this. I think he'll have more fun with this than me. But there's a sleeve, like a sports sleeve, put on your arm, stuff like that for all you ballers out there. Y'all ain't gonna get one because y'all ain't go to the screening, but and then they have this really really nice little foam finger thing here. This really, I thought when I read about it, I thought it was gonna be bigger, like an actual big ass foam finger, but it's not. It's just this little panther claw, a little something. Got the little goat tag on there. That's the main character, Will, played by Caleb McCluck. I'm gonna just refer to him as the black kid from Stranger Things from now on. But like I said, this is really cool. This is pretty cool though. Honestly, I did like this a lot. Yeah, I like this a lot. So like I said, shout out to AMT. But anyway, back to the film. So I wouldn't show that off. But yeah, so yeah, it's really just him like just proving himself though when he gets on the team, because like I say, he's a smaller animal. So everyone's looking down on him, even Jet, because like the predicament that Jet's in with the Thorns is that they're kind of like they're like a losing team. So like imagine, honestly, not even imagine the connection you can make to real life basketball will be the Knicks, right? Like if the Knicks had a player that could take them to the championship, but just wasn't able to because they didn't have they felt they didn't have the right support on the team. And that's kind of the predicament that Jet and the Thorns are in. One character, this movie doesn't necessarily have an antagonist, so to speak, but one character that is antagonistic is Jennifer Lewis's character, Flo. And Flo's like a warthog and everything like that. I point that out because Jet being a panther and Flo being a warthog, but Flo having so much like control, not like in a bad way, but Flo is like fearless. And if you know Jennifer Lewis, if you've seen her roles and everything like that, it makes sense that Flo has that attitude, that demeanor, like, honey, I'm not worried about you at all. Girl, get out of here. Like at one point, she just keeps spraying Jet with a freaking water bottle. And I'm just like, yo. And like Jet's like, I'm gonna tear you to pieces. She's like, I know you're not raising your claws to me. I was cracking up. This movie doesn't just utilize basketball in there, though. It also because it's like a one character in this movie. I won't say too much about them, but they make a diss track. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I personally thought that was funny, especially the way that, because they did like a music video for it. The way that song starts, I heard like several gasps in the theater because it looks a lot like something inappropriate is happening. Not nothing too crazy, but like it caught a lot of us off guard. There was a couple of adults in there, and caught some of us off guard, myself included. But when they did I was cracking up. I thought it was so funny. They do make good use of the world here that you really get a sense of how things kind of tie together. And one of the things I thought about while watching this was Zootopia. This is like, because Zootopia is like its own thing in its own world and stuff like that, but like you can have, like, if for some reason they ever wanted to combine Zootopia and Goat, do like a crossover or something like that, they wouldn't have to stretch the imagination so far. They could just say that the events of Goat and what's the name? I forgot the name of the city, but the events of Goat just happened on another side of the country for them. And because it's really nice. I like how they utilize the animals better though in Goat, because they're still at the core, they're still their own animalistic selves. They are just kind of like anthropomorphic. And then for those like conspiracy theories or not conspiracy theories, I want to say like people who like to like connect different movies together and stuff like that, like Easter eggs, they'll have a ball with this one. But the animation on this is really good. The screening I saw it in was in 3D, and this is the first time I saw a 3D movie in a long time, and it was nice because it felt very immersive, and this was a good film to see in 3D. If 3D is your thing, I'm not going to push it for you guys, but if 3D is your thing, this is a good movie to watch in 3D, because it being a sports movie and such a kinetic film, you kind of get drawn into it. Like my daughter, she was like, yo, I felt like I was like in the movie. Like I felt like I could reach into the film. She had to, we had to walk out the theater real quick, but she was like, man, I was walking down the steps. I thought I was going to walk right into the movie. I was like, yes, how 3D is. But it kind of like, when we went and sat back down, it kind of dawned on me while I was watching the rest of the film. I was like, yeah, it does feel that immersive. I did the thing that we all do when we watch 3D movies, lift up the glasses to see what the difference is. And like I said, I'm not going to try to push the 3D for you guys, but I would say that 3D might be the better way to watch this movie. And I'm not even a 3D person. Like 3D, that upcharge is ridiculous. Like I'd rather just pay the regular ticket price. But I do gotta say, like I said, I feel like 3D is like, especially certain sequences. Like there's a sequence where they're having like a phone conversation. They got the little split screen thing going on there. I felt like I was in the phone conversation. And then I lifted my glasses up and I said, oh, boo, it looks flat. And I put it back. I was like, yeah, I'm in there. Like, so it's fun to see this in 3D if that's your thing. If not, it's still a fun movie. The animation, like I said, is really, really good. It's got that, the K-pop Spider-Verse thing going for it, which I guess at this point is Sony Animation's signature style. And it works for them. Works for them. One thing that I saw was pretty awkward. It's like a crowd shot where some of the characters in the crowd moved like really awkward. And I found myself laughing at that. I was like, wow, that's just a weird thing to do with this crowd shot, is just have certain characters moving the way they did. And when you see the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about in that particular part. But yeah, I don't know. It's not much more I can say about this movie in the way of spoilers, because like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. This is a movie. It's not like any deep twist or turns, but it is something that when you go in and watch it, and you watch it as, I would say, watch it as a sports movie. Don't watch it as like a cartoon movie for the kids. Watch it as a sports film. And I think you would definitely get a lot of enjoyment out of that, more so than you would get if you just watched it, just like I said, just think it was a regular plain old kids movie. There's nothing like raunchy in this movie. There's nothing wild outside of like the one part I told you about. But I mean, it still has to have its jokes in there. It still has to have its edge to it, and it's a soft edge, but it's still fun. I mention those things because, like I said, this movie could have very easily, I could see this movie being boring. That's the thing about, like, I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, they kind of avoided a lot of things that would have made this movie less entertaining, but they went very straightforward in a lot of things. They didn't like sugarcoat certain things. Like Will isn't like a teenager; he's an adult. Like he has rent to pay, and like he couldn't pay his rent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to tell you where he ends up after that. It's nothing crazy, but it's just like, that's real life stuff. So it like the character is relatable, and that makes his rise to becoming the player and becoming the GOAT. It makes it very, very it's easy to connect with. It's very easy to connect with, and it makes it exciting, and it makes the Roar games all the more thrilling because it's like they're not just like playing on a court, da 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 da. It's like they're playing on environmental courts. So like if there's sand, there might be a sandstorm you gotta play through. There might be like a breaking ice that you gotta break through, extreme cold. And I think like the last game they played, I think it was like lava or something like that. And you gotta play through that. You know what I'm saying? While playing against these big behind like animals, elephants, hippos, rhinos, gorillas, horses, like you got to play against that. And then imagine being the size of Will's character. You're just a small goat. What are you going to do against these big, these big animals? And that's a point that they're like, what are you going to do? We're bigger than you. How are you going to beat us? How are you going to do that? How are you going to make the shot? How are you going to get past us? How are you like, and it's thrilling to watch. Would I watch a sequel of this? I mean, if they made it, I would like to see the direction that they go in, but I think this is perfectly fine as a one-off. And I do hope that this becomes, because there was a lot of people in the screening that I saw. It was a lot of people in the screening, which was because at first the tickets were kind of selling kind of slow, but I looked at that and I was like, oh, let me hurry up and get these tickets because there was a lot of people in there and everyone seemed to enjoy it. It got a round of applause at the end. It was really cool. If it hasn't been obvious to you guys yet why I talk about this movie for Black Excellence Month, please go back and look at the cast list. Okay, it's executive produced by Steph Curry, for goodness sakes. It's a majority Black cast, Black excellence written all over this film. It is very fun. I had a good time watching. The kids had a good time watching it. My rating for this, I don't think there's any official rating yet out. Let me see. Is there any official? No, there's no official rating out yet. But I will say that I can, and this movie's only an hour 40 minutes long, and it makes very good use of its time. But I say I will give this movie out of 5 stars. I give it a good I give it about a 4 out of 5 stars. I did have a really good time watching this movie. I have some light plans to try to see it again. I did miss the first big basketball game. I missed it because my kid had to go to the bathroom. So I was like, damn, you picked the time where he's actually on the court to go to the bathroom. But, you got to do what you got to do. But I would like to see how he won that game because the way they talk about it through the rest of the movie, oh, man, I want to see how that turned out because it didn't just affect Will. It affected other characters in the movie. And it, like I said, the movie, it's definitely good. It's really, really good. Check it out in theaters on Friday. You can go see GOAT. So now you have your early review. You got your hype going for it. Yo, get ready because on Friday, February 13th, GOAT is officially released in theaters. And I do encourage you, take your family, go watch it. If you like basketball, you'll like this movie. If you like animation, you'll like this movie. If you, I don't know, just hell, if you just want to have a good time, I would definitely recommend going seeing this movie. So GOAT, go see it, check it out. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars for me. I enjoyed it. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. You already subscribe. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that stuff in the ticker down below. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy, be the GOAT. Okay, live your life, dream big. Okay, that's one of the messages of the movie. Dream big. Dream big. And stay black. All right, until next time, be easy, stay breezy. Peace.